The Tropicana Hotel Casino Resort, Atlantic City, New Jersey. This mega casino/hotel boasts its own shopping district, countless numbers of restaurants, slot machines and table games, sports book, and some of the most luxurious hotel rooms that I have ever had the pleasure of staying at. The legend of the Tropicana goes back a number of decades, seeing as it was built over the foundation of its predecessor, the Ambassador Hotel. But is it haunted? In 20 minutes or less. Greetings once again, traveler. As always, I am the Reverend Victor S. Johnson, and I've been places you've only read about. And this here is my little sidekick, Dudley. Before we begin, please remember to like and subscribe. And traveler, are you having trouble sleeping with all the ghost hunting? Do you get anxious in cold, tight spaces and have a hard time coming down? Well, if you're anything like me, you've been looking for something to take the edge off that's both legal and affordable. Travelers, you know I love my Delta 9 gummies. Well, I've found an incredible brand. Are you seeking a natural way to unwind and find your inner calm? Well, look no further than Absolute Nature CBD gummies, the perfect blend of nature's goodness and relaxation in every bite. As someone dealing with the aches and pains of a manual labor job, as well as the mental fog from ADHD and PTSD on a fairly daily basis, I can honestly say that Absolute Nature CBD has helped me pull through an otherwise hot and miserable July, and I've come out feeling better than I did when we left June. I take one gummy at bedtime, and the next thing I know, I sleep like I did when I was a kid. But as always, you don't have to take my word for it. Right now, Absolute Nature CBD is offering you a deal in August, and you know I love to give you deals. You can get 40% off by following this link in the description and using code WebMD40 at checkout. So give Absolute Nature CBD a try, and remember to use WebMD40 at checkout for 40% off. Now let's begin the video. So before we begin with the investigation, a little backstory on the Tropicana and its predecessor, the Ambassador Hotel. The Ambassador Hotel was built off of the Atlantic City boardwalk in 1919. In 1921, renovations brought the total amount of rooms up to 400. In 1922, a couple of patrons to the hotel included Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, his wife Anna, and of all people, escape artist Harry Houdini. They had a seance in one of the rooms at the very hotel that used to stand here, and the results of that seance, well, that's another story for another video. But I will tease you with this, traveler. The results of that seance birthed the modern skeptic movement. In 1929, the Ambassador Hotel was the site of the Atlantic City Conference. A who's who of mobsters showed up to celebrate the honeymoon of gangster Meyer Lansky. This included, among others, Lucky Luciano and Alphonse Capone. In addition to celebrating Lansky's new nuptials, they were there to conduct business. They also divvied up territories as a settlement to the violence that had been going on amongst the mob families. Beyond that, accommodations, food and drink were provided by Enoch Nucky Johnson, otherwise known as Steve Buscemi's character Nucky Thompson in the HBO show Boardwalk Empire. On top of that, a parlay was held to determine who may have killed the godfather of the mafia himself, Arnold Rothstein. In 1931, gangster Mickey Duffy was found dead in his hotel room at the Ambassador. He had been shot in the back of the head, laying face down in his own pillow. The murder was never solved. Eventually, in the 1970s, the Ambassador Hotel went out of business and was closed. A stipulation in the real estate sale was that this couldn't be a simple patch and paint job. The Ambassador had to be torn down, and something new had to be built in its place, and thus the Tropicana Hotel and Casino was born. Check-in was a breeze, though finding my room was a bit daunting. To their credit, the Tropicana upgraded my room out of the West Tower and into the North Tower, which seemed a lot nicer. Getting from the self-parking garage to my room in the North Tower was a bit of a trek. I had to go from the parking garage to the quarter, through the casino, over to the North Tower elevators. This resulted in me being lost several times, traveler, which is a real feat in itself because I, as a good adventurer, rarely if ever get lost. I took my North Tower elevator up to floor 9. That's where our excursion begins. The room was incredible. It had a lot of space, central air, and a really nice bathroom. There were ample places to eat on the boardwalk. I decided to treat myself and stopped at a tacos and tequila bar about halfway from where I was to my next stop. The food was delicious, it's pictured here, and it had a very nice ambiance. Plus, gratuity is included in the bill, which is really convenient. I did some sightseeing. I was overdue to take some pictures at the Civil Rights Garden, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. having a long and storied history with his family in Atlantic City. But of course, once everything finally got dark, I returned to the room. After all, we have a miniature ghost hunt to engage in. As always, I will put a title buffer in between the equipment I use, and these are my results and findings. Let's see what we get. It appears nothing on the EMF detector. We will move to the spirit box. SB7 spirit box temperature gauge. Still nothing on the K2 EMF meter. Hello, is there anyone here with us right now? Please feel free to say anything into the spirit box. At this moment, the K2 meter has jumped. We are now getting reads on the K2 meter yellow. Is anyone here with me? Please try and come through the white noise. You can feel free to pass next to the spirit box. Is there anyone here with us right now? Were you from Atlantic City in the roaring 20s? Please, let me know. We have a solid yellow now. I don't know where that came from. Can someone say anything into the spirit box? Please come through the white noise. Tell us your story. Anyone at all. Tell me your name. There's a weird feeling of my hair standing up on the back of my head. Tell me your name at this time. Tell me anything. Tell me hello. Please, if someone is here, speak into the spirit box. Speak through the white noise. Is anyone here with me right now? I'm going to give this another moment or two. Then I'm going to try something else. Anyone at all? Is this Mickey Duffy? Is this anyone who is in the Mafia? Please let me know at this time. Is anyone here with me at all? I'm going to give this about 30 more seconds. After that, I will rescind. Anyone, are you here with me at this time? Please respond. I'll give you a few more moments. I don't think we got anything. So, spirit box test canceled. Last check, divining rods. Last check, divining rods. Is there anyone in here with me in this hotel room right now? Please cross the rods if yes, leave them uncrossed if no. We have a solid yellow on the EMF. Again. Spirit, can you take the rods and point to where you are in the room? We have contact. Were you a male? Please cross the rods if yes, leave them uncrossed if no. Did you die in the 1920s? Please leave the rods crossed if yes, uncross them if no. Did you die in the 1930s? Please cross the rods if yes, leave them uncrossed if no. Were you a gangster? Please leave the rods crossed if yes, uncross them if no. I thought we had Mickey Duffy there for a second, but we do not. Did you die a normal death? Please cross the rods if yes, leave them uncrossed if no. Did you die a violent death? Please cross the rods if yes, uncross them if no. Did you die of illness? Please cross the rods if yes, leave them uncrossed if no. I'm sorry to hear that. Was it consumption related? Please leave the rods crossed if yes, uncross them if no. I'm sorry to hear that. Did you have a good life, Spirit? Please leave the rods crossed if yes, uncross them if no. I'm sorry to hear that. Did you know love, Spirit? Did you know of love? Please cross the rods if yes, leave them uncrossed if no. I'm happy for you in that regard. Can you please walk past the spirit box at this time? Make the temperature gauge light up. I see that the EMF is going off. That's okay too. I'm trying to think of another question. Spirit, did you enjoy your employment when you were alive? Please leave the sticks crossed if yes, uncross them if no. Did you die poor, Spirit? Please cross the sticks if yes, leave them uncrossed if no. As is the case, traveler. This is once again another sad haunting. Nothing to be alarmed about, but with that, I do believe we have made contact. Spirit, I'm going to ask you to release the divining rods at this time. I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you for engaging with and entertaining us. You are released. You are free. I hope that things clear up in the afterlife. Thank you very much. I'm going to try to record the EMF while I'm talking because honestly it was dead until I started talking out loud to myself. Well, not to myself, but you know what I mean. So we'll cut to that real quick. Okay. So as I began talking out loud, the yellow light began to go off, just like it's doing now. And when I put it down, it was doing nothing. I thought we had wasted our time once again, but there it goes. Not much to it. Like I said, a very sad, seemingly residual kind of haunting, but nonetheless, I think there's something here, whereas as we saw over at the Claridge, there was nothing. I'll take it. So there we have it, traveler. That concludes the ghost hunt, and I feel like we had a spiritual connection here. Whereas the Claridge gave me nothing except for a good night's sleep, the Tropicana may hold on to those old spirits from the Ambassador Hotel. Atlantic City was founded in 1854 by Dr. Jonathan Pitney because he felt that saltwater air had healing properties. Well, maybe, just maybe, it has spiritual properties too. What do you think? Remember to let me know in the comments. With that, once again, I am the Reverend Victor S. Johnson. This as always is Dudley. Safe travels, traveler.